Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the WrightBet presented by First Star Logistics and sponsored by Betfred Sportsbook. I'm your host, Malik Wright, joined by my co-host, Danielle Alameda. Got a jam-packed show, a lot of stuff to get into, a lot of stuff to talk to. Remember, we're in the business of making you guys some money. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and join in on the discussion. Without further ado, Daniel, let's kick this thing off.
All right, Malik, we're back and I'm excited. We've got March Madness. We've got NBA. And listen, I'm ready to throw some money. Before the show started, we went and already threw some money, and I've got a couple $100 on the line tonight. So I've got March Madness for you guys, right? It's been crazy. And a lot of people are going to say, don't bet on March Madness. This year is the craziest year. You still have to throw some money on it, especially if there's a good enough edge. So I'm looking at the two games, right? You got UConn versus Miami. Everyone's saying UConn's the favorite, and rightfully so. They beat Gonzaga. They beat all these good teams, and they've looked like the best team in the tournament. But what they're not telling you, what people aren't telling you, is they're saying, hey, they're going to win. Okay, that's fine. I think UConn is going to win. But for me, the value lies at Miami plus 6.5 and plus 5.5. Whatever you can get it at, take the plus money. And the reason why is because Miami is battle tested, right? In March Madness, you have to look at the teams. The biggest teams that succeed are the ones that are battle tested, the teams that can shoot the best free throws, and teams that have the best guard play. Who has the best guard play in all of the country? Miami. They have two of the best, guards. Isaiah Wong is one of the best. I think he's going to be an absolute star in the NBA. So I look at them, and they've got the guard play to at least keep this game close. UConn, statistically, yes, they're all around the better team, better defensively. They hold teams, to a very below average 3-point percentage. But the thing is, Miami, they don't shoot a lot of threes. That's not how they win their games. So for me, the value, I'm riding on Miami, right? We took them to make the Final Four at plus 1,000 before the tournament started. And I'm going to take them again here, plus 5.5. And I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit on them to win the entire tournament. For me, that's where the value lies, because I look at a team like UConn. Right now, they're minus 120 to win the entire tournament, minus 120 to win 2 games. I'm good off that. That's not really value. So I'm going to take the plus 5.5. They can still lose, but I think this is, too big of a spread for a team that's been covering as underdogs all year long. So I've got one more game, FAU versus San Diego State. So I drove up to Columbus with our guy, Evan Hartman from TWSN, and we watched a couple of the games early on, round of 32. We saw FAU play live, right? And this team, right now, they're the underdog story. But the thing about them is they are such a well-rounded and diverse team, right? I look at them. They've got 8 scorers who score, 8+ points a game. They've got guys, they don't have just one star. So I look at them against San Diego State. San Diego State, they're a scrappy team. They pride themselves off of, the defensive efficiency. But I look at a team like FAU. They've got guys, all 4 games in the tournament so far. They have, absolutely, it's been one guy, then another, then another. So I'm going to take FAU at plus money right now. They're plus money to win. Take them. But once again, my favorite play is Miami plus 5.5. I think they can win it outright, but 5.5 is too many points right now for the team with the best guard play, the team with, some of the best free throw shooting in the entire country. So that's the play for March Madness. I'm riding with Miami, and
I agree with you from a point spread perspective, but I do think UConn wins the game. Honestly, UConn has been upset special. They upset Gonzaga and things of that nature, and they just seem like the team of destiny. And I know those are like the famous last words you give a team before they wind up losing, but I think it would be crazy to not pick them. They should be favored. They're going to win this game, and they're probably going to go on to win the tournament.
I agree. I think that once again, they're a team that they've knocked down the best teams in this entire country. And like I said, I just think it's too many points for a team, I love the guard play of Miami, both those guys, and they even have one of the most underrated big men. So I agree.
One of my favorite sayings is, battle tested makes war ready.
Completely.
And if you ask me, UConn is battle tested. I think that they're battle tested the most out of any team left in the tournament, if you ask me. And I think UConn's going to win this thing.
I like it. So once again, I like the Miami plus 5, and maybe throw a little bit on UConn money line too. I might throw that in some of my parlays.
Might be a little bit of a tri-state bias going on with me a little bit, but I don't think so. I think UConn's going to win that one.
Completely. So let's switch it over to the NBA. We've got a lot of games on the slate today. We were cooking up, in the lab. We got 6 games. Malik, I want to start it off with our team. None other than the Boston Celtics. They're facing the Wizards. Just a little backstory. Once again, no Kyle Kuzma. Once again, no Bradley Beal. And this is a team I've faded in player props. So I've looked at them the past 3 games without those guys.
Oh.
Oh, I've taken Nikola Jokic points.
Mhm.
He's at the over. I took Keldon Johnson points. He hit the over, and Fred VanVleet points. They all hit the over. The best players on the opposing team against the Wizards, they absolutely go off. And the Wizards right now, no Daniel Gafford either. Their defense is absolute garbage. You're telling me Denny Advia, once again, I'm stumbling on his name, but this defense isn't good. The Wizards don't try on defense. Kristaps Porzingis, yes, he's their best defender, but once again, he's not guarding Jaylen Brown. He's not guarding Jason Tatum. So I look at this, my favorite play for this, I'm riding with our guy Jaylen Brown over. Last night, it was at 26.5. Now it's down to 25.5. It's down to 25.5, and this is a guy, I'm going to read you his game log in a little bit, but Jaylen Brown is one of the most consistent players in the NBA. He consistently averages 38 minutes a night, so
Mhm.
you know he's getting the opportunity. They've got the great matchup.
Mhm.
And when I look at him, let me read you his game log, but he's just like, there's games with Jason Tatum scores 45. There's games with Jason Tatum scores 15. With Jaylen Brown, even when Jason Tatum goes off, he's still consistently putting up 20 shots a night. So his game log, he just scored 41, 27, 27, 25, 27, 35, 43, and 32. You're telling me he's not going to get 26 points tonight? I love the matchup. I love his opportunity. And Jaylen Brown's consistent. I'm hammering his over 25 plus on Betfred. I'll even take 30 plus too.
Well, for that game, obviously the I would say the line is a little bit too way too
Way
rich
too much.
for my liking. I don't think any team should be that big of a favorite, especially seeing how, Boston has been the way they've been this season. But I do like a play from that game. And I tell you what, I like Al Horford to have 5+ rebounds. I like that a lot. It's now gone up from -197 to -223. Obviously, we know the injuries that the Washington Wizards are dealing with, and you should see a lot of rebound opportunities for a guy like Al Horford. To be honest with you, that's the only play that I feel confident and comfortable enough. You got the whole Jaylen Brown situation where Jaylen Brown is disgruntled, unhappy with the Boston Celtics. How could you blame the guy? The guy was floated around in trade rumors, things of that nature. But Al Horford is the play. Al Horford is the play for me. Now, if I can probably try to scrummage maybe 1 or 2 plays that I do like. But again, the right bet, we go through these plays with you guys just so you guys know we want to cook up these plays for you guys to hopefully win you some money as well. So we really tried to make this an inclusive type of show where we include the audience on on our picks and things of that nature. We want to hear from you as well. Give us your best bets of the day, some bets that you like. We'll tell you if we like them, we'll tell you if we dislike them, and we'll tell you why as well. But yeah, Al Horford is the play for me in his rebounds.
I've got one more play in this, and this is a game I think there's a lot of props that are, available to be bet. My favorite right now, I'm looking at it. If I had to pick one for the Wizards, it's not, great to pick on the Wizards. You got Porzingis, but I'm going to take Monty Morris 5 assists, right? I'm going to take him to get 5 assists. The reason why is I look at this team once again. No Bradley Beal, no Kyle Kuzma. Those guys' usage percentage are through the roof when they're on the court. They're off the court. So Monty Morris, the thing with him is he is their starting point guard. However you slice it, Denny, can be running the point forward. But Monty Morris didn't play last game, but his past 3 games, he had 8 assists, he had 5 assists, and he had 4 assists in 19 minutes. That game was a blowout. And once again, I look at Monty Morris. On their team without Kyle Kuzma, without Bradley Beal, he is averaging the most potential assists. He's the one who's bringing the ball up the court. I love Monty Morris today to get 5 assists. This is a Celtics team. We talked a lot about it on the show. They're one of the most inconsistent teams. And I look at their defense, especially without Robert Williams playing a ton of minutes.
Mhm.
Their defense isn't elite. It's not. Marcus Smart. I said Marcus Morris. Marcus Smart has reverted back to an average defender, maybe an above average defender. He is not the defensive player of the year that he was in past years. I look at guys like Jason Tatum. He's lackluster on defense, more focused on offense. Al Horford's good in the paint. And Jaylen Brown's good, but he's not guarding Monty Morris. So I'm very confident. Once again, it's all about opportunity. You got an opportunity now. You're the starting point guard without your 2 best players. Take his over 5 assists at plus money. I love that. So that was one more I liked in that game.
Yeah.
We can go over to the next game. I'm going to go to the Miami Heat versus the Toronto Raptors. This is a game I think that there's a lot of value in. Once again, Jimmy Butler is out. Kyle Lowry is on the bench. And the Toronto Raptors, they've been playing very inconsistent, but My favorite play for this, I'm taking Tyler Hero to get 5+ assists. This is my favorite play. I looked at this one, when we were in here earlier looking at different plays and stuff. And I said, how the hell is this line so low? I think I'm either going to be the donkey of the night or I'm going to be the goat of the night, because I looked at this 4.5 assists. 4.5 assists without your main facilitator, without Kyle Lowry in the starting lineup. Gabe Vincent isn't a passing first point guard. He's a guy who sits on the corner and he waits for a three, right? So I look at a guy like Tyler Hero. Let me read you his game log without Jimmy Butler, because a lot of people, they can look at his recent game log and say, well, he hasn't been doing so hot in the assist category. That's not what it's about, though. It's about the situation. No Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry on the bench. What has he done? He had 6, 8, 7, 2, 6, 9, 10, and 10. For me, this is a walk in the park. You're getting a guy in Tyler Hero who's, trying to become a superstar, the guy who's trying to take that next level. And this is your one chance without your best player on the floor. Yes, Bam can have a good game. Yes, these other guys can have a good game, but that would only benefit Tyler Hero. So 5+ assists, I absolutely love, and I'll sprinkle on 8+ assists too. I think he's going to have an absolute masterclass as a pass first guy today. He's been so inconsistent shooting the ball. So I love Tyler Hero to get 5 assists and a little sprinkle on 8 assists. So
I hear you, Daniel. I'll tell you what I like from that game.
what do you like?
I like my guy Chris Boucher to
Mm-hmm.
get 8+ rebounds. It's sitting at plus 210. He's a rebound machine, and it seems like Vegas always seems to disrespect him and think that he's not, a board dominant type of guy, and he is. Every single time he gets extended minutes or he gets an opportunity in there, he proved himself. And if I'm looking at the last few games and what he's done, right, he's been 7, 13, and 6. I think that all comes down to playtime and things of that nature. But yeah, I think if you give Chris Boucher extended minutes in there, I think you're going to see. Honestly, I think you're going to see the Raptors dominate on the board tonight. I think with that entire lineup in there, I think that they're going to have a lot of success against the Miami Heat. Honestly, but that's my play that I personally like Chris Boucher to have 8+ rebounds. And if you're not feeling that, go 5+ rebounds at minus 295 on the Betfred Sportsbook app. If I had to look at any other rebound props, as you guys know, I'm now the rebound whisperer, I guess. That is my new nickname that I'm giving myself. Kevin Love is always a guy that we can rely on for rebounds as well. I don't know if I like 5+ rebounds at minus 417, though. That just seems a little too much. Pascal Siakam is inconsistent. He let me down the other night. Scotty Barnes, I don't know if I like that either. Jacob Hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
To get
Jakob,
10,
the boy.
Jakob, Jacob, whatever. Jakob Pertl to get 10 rebounds, sitting at minus 125 is a prop that I like as well myself. And it's one that I'd personally go with. And last but not least, if there's any other prop that I like that I'm looking at, is Kevin Love to get 2 assists on the Betfred Sportsbook app, sitting at minus 145.
I like it. And I mean, this is a game. There's a lot of value in this game. Jakob Pertl's the guy. He's made us a lot of money. Ever since he got traded, the thing with him is, he always needed a chance just to be the standalone center, and now he's got the chance, right?
Well, I'm just looking at it from his perspective that with the Heat missing so many people, Kevin Love is going to get extended minutes tonight.
Yeah,
Kevin Love is going to see a lot more action tonight, and I think that Kevin Love is a guy that when he does get the opportunity, especially being refreshed, he this is a spot where he can really, really dominate. I think 2 assists is a no-brainer for Kevin Love. I think Kevin Love's rebound prop, like I said, it was usually the safe one I go with is 5 rebounds. I could see Kevin Love having a big rebound day, honestly, as well myself.
Hey, whenever there's an injury, it's always best to take advantage. And I'm looking at a guy like Bam Adebayo. I want to take his rebounds over, right? Because you look at him, and especially without Jimmy Butler, Butler's averaging 6 rebounds a game. He's averaging 11+ rebound chances a game. I might like just taking Bam Adebayo too over 8+ rebounds at minus like 170. I like that even to get 10+ rebounds. I think he's gonna have a big game today, especially knowing that your best player is not on the floor. Who's the guy that's gonna step up? I like Bam Adebayo as well. So I want to go to another game, the Cavaliers versus the Hawks.
Yep.
This is a game we've got burnt a couple times by a guy named Jared Allen. But the good thing is he's not playing today.
Well, that's not the good thing, right?
But with my prop going into what my prop's going to be, I think it's a beautiful thing. It sets my prop up perfectly. I'm going with the guy, and this is once again, this is gonna be a weird one. I don't know if you'll like this one, Blake. I'm going with the guy Onyeka Okongwu.
Mm-hmm.
Onyeka Okongwu. I'm going
I
with
haven't
him,
bet him since last year.
and
Honestly.
he's a guy. You know, sometimes in sports, or in sports betting, you just have to go with the guys who are the high effort guys, the guys that, take initiative, especially when they're on the court. Onyeka Okongwu, he averages 25 plus minutes a game. He's not getting a ton of run, but the thing with him is when he's in there, he's making the most of his opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and the matchup fits perfectly here, especially without Jared Allen. I like Onyeka Okongwu to get 20 plus rebounds and points and rebounds.
Oh, I'm about to say,
No.
20 plus rebounds. What are you talking about?
20 plus rebounds and points. That's at plus.
Coming Oscar Robertson.
That's at plus 200 to get 20 plus. And for me, I look at this 20 plus to get, points and rebounds.
Okay.
The thing that you're giving me.
You have to specify that because
points.
You don't want viewers out there thinking Daniel's saying bet on Okongwu to have 20 rebounds, and that's not the case.
No. Points and rebounds. The thing with him, he's cashed. I'm looking at. He's cashed his points and rebounds in 7 of his past 8 games.
Okay.
He's playing 25 plus minutes a night.
Okay.
The opposing team doesn't have their starting center.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the matchup, he's hit this in both matchups versus the Cavaliers this year. He hasn't just hit this in both matchups. He's crushed this. He had 28 and he had 24.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this now. I like him to get a double-double. It's plus 400. This is not a hammer play. The hammer play would be 18 plus points and rebounds. That's minus 115. 20 plus is plus 200. But to get a double-double at plus 400 without the opposing team starting center, he's playing 25 plus minutes a night. I like it. I don't know. He's a high effort guy. Onyeka Okongwu, he's going to make us the GOAT of the night. I love him tonight.
No. See, I like that, Daniel.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I do want to take advantage of the starting center of the Cavaliers being out, but in a different way. I want to go with the guy that I know I can trust. I want to go with the guy that's going to bring us home. I want to go with a guy that has won us bets time and time again this year. Clint Capella to have 10 points minus 223. You guys can't tell I'm setting up for a parlay, right? You can't tell I'm setting up for a parlay, but Clint Capella to have 10 points with no Jared Allen in there, sign me up each and every single day of the week. I love that play. Listen, I hear your Onyeka Okongwu play, and I wish you none but the best with that play, and I definitely think it's a play that could hit if you combine his points and rebounds and things of that nature. But no, Clint Capella to get 10 points is a safe play.
I love it. So we're both rolling with centers against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to say Evan Mobley is going to be that guy to sort of stifle them, but Evan Mobley finds himself in foul trouble every now and again. And he's a guy that if he does get in foul trouble, it could spell doom for the Cavaliers.
Yeah. And I do think, I think Mobley can have a big game. I don't know if I'm going to bet on it. If I'm going to bet anything, I'm just going to take his points and rebounds. That's a safer bet. His rebounds line, especially without Jared Allen, is 10.5. So I like that. Not a huge play, but let's go to the Hornets versus Thunder really quickly. I've got 2 plays I like. I'm going to go with the first one.
Can I say my play first?
Go with it. I wasn't going to steal yours. Don't worry.
I just want to get it out there first before he says it. Jalen Williams to have 5 rebounds. I love that play. He's a guy he's a high effort guy. He's a guy that actively tries to get rebounds. It's sitting at minus 323 on the Betfred Sportsbook app as well.
I like it. And Malik, that's perfect lead into this one. I threw $100 on a play today, and it was with our guy, Jalen Williams. I look at him once again, a little backstory. Shai Gilgeous isn't playing, the best player. And putting this respectfully, Shai Gilgeous, he's a ball hog. But that's a good thing. He's a ball hog. He's the guy that he averages, 30 plus points a game. His usage percentage is through the roof. Without him, who's going to take over? Who's going to be their guy? Lou Dort? So I'm going to take Jalen Williams over 19.5 points. I like him to hit a 3 as well. And I like him to get 2 assists. You parlay all those on the Betfred Sportsbook app, that gives you plus 170.
Ooh.
Plus 170. Get him 20 plus points, 5 plus rebounds, 2 plus assists, and 1-3. When I look at him, without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's hit this in 7 of his past 9 games without Shai.
Yeah.
And all 4 of those props, he hit those in every one of those games. So instead of just taking his points, I'm going to take him, parlay your 5 rebound play. I'm going to take him to get 2 assists, and I'm going to take him to hit a 3. So that's plus 170 for me. For me, Malik, that's value,
Mhm.
right? Instead of just taking someone's points, you add on a little bit because the opportunity is there. The matchup, they're playing the Hornets. The Hornets suck,
Mhm.
right?
Well, the Hornets don't suck enough to beat the Mavericks twice. Let's
That
just say that.
that shows you that the Mavericks suck. The Mavericks are terrible right now.
I won't say
They need to
Hornets.
change something in order to
Sure.
be a championship team.
Sure.
But the Hornets, no Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward's doubtful, Terry Rozier isn't playing, right? You look at this and who's really going to be defending? So I look at them and I see it lines up perfectly for our guy Jalen Williams, second usage percentage without Shea Gill just behind Josh Giddey. So I like Jalen Williams tonight.
Okay.
I've got one more really quickly. If you want to throw some more money, Dennis Smith Jr., I like his assists, right? I told you Kelly Oubre's not there. Gordon Hayward's doubtful. Terry Rozier's not there. The starting point guard, Dennis Smith Jr., he's been absolutely killing it on assists. He had 9 the other night. He had 6, the last game. His potential assist is through the roof. He just needs guys to make shots, right? And that's kind of the name of the game. So 8+ assists at plus money. I love it. So
Well, moving on to the other game, because I don't like anything else in that game. Personally, I'm kind of over it. I want to go to. I have no props for this next upcoming game, but I do have a money line play that I like. It's a parade outside my city, and I'm going with Ja Morant and the Grizzlies to beat the Orlando Magic. I think the Grizzlies are finding their groove. The Grizzlies are finding their way back, and I think Ja's back.
yeah, I like that. I just want to make sure that he's playing. I'll
Was
check.
he questionable?
I think he was questionable. Just make sure just before. But especially if he's playing, I absolutely love the Grizzlies. They're not going to lose this game to the Magic.
It shouldn't.
They're not. So with or without Ja, I like Jaren Jackson to score 20+ points. Jaren Jackson, he's been an absolute stud. He's been killing it. And the thing with him, it's always been, confidence, and it's always been, okay, just get the ball in his hands and have him rolling. He's been rolling recently. He had 28, 21. The other night, I know it was a blowout. He had 19 points in, 20 minutes, 20-something minutes. So I like Jaren Jackson points, especially against the Magic. The Magic, they're a scrappy team, but you look at the defenders. Paolo's decent in defending. Franz Wagner's decent. Gary Harris is decent.
Yeah, I think Ja's out too. Either way, I'm taking the Grizzlies in that game.
Yeah, I like it. And especially now that Ja's out, it makes me like Jaren Jackson more, man. Jaren Jackson, especially without Ja, he had 28, 25, 26. Jaren Jackson's the best player on that floor, regardless. So I'm going to take his over. It's only at 21.5. I'll take 20+ points on Betfred, and I'll take 25 as well. So Jaren Jackson's the play for me in that game. And I like Grizzly money line too. So Malik, we got one more game. Pelicans versus the Warriors. The Warriors are finally, they're at home. They're at home. They're not on the road. The Warriors suck on the road. Their record is abysmal on the road. Player props are abysmal on the road. But I like Brandon Ingram. I'm going to roll with my guy.
He went off the other night, didn't he?
He went off. And he is the thing with Brandon Ingram. And this is what, I absolutely love about player props. You can find an edge in, when you look at the recent game log. Brandon Ingram, what he's done recently with the Pelicans, he's taken over the point guard role, right? Obviously, CJ McCollum's still there, but he is averaging more potential assists every single game in his past 5 games without, or with CJ McCollum. His line's only at 5.5. Brandon Ingram's running the offense, and whether you throw double teams at him or not, he's playing 36+ minutes a night. Over 5.5 to me, that's a lock against the Warriors. The Warriors can't defend. This is a fast-paced game. This is a spot that the Warriors need to win, so it's going to be a close game. And 5+ assists, that's a lock to me. Brandon Ingram, absolutely hammer him. He's a floor, general for them. I love his over and assists.
I got one play that I love for that game. You're talking about somebody taking over the point guard duties. I highly disagree with that. I'm going with CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum to have 5 assists in this game. That's the play that I like. I think CJ McCollum is still the point guard of his team. I don't know where that came from, but CJ McCollum to have five assists, sitting at minus 264 over his last few games. He's gotten 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 11, 8, 5. That's what he's done last 10 games. The guy is still the point guard of the team. The guy is going to continue to dish and continue to get his players involved.
So he's still the point guard. What I meant to say is, I'll be honest, Brandon Ingram is taking, like, CJ McCollum's still the point guard, but Brandon Ingram has the ball in his hands more. He's been running the floor for them. And this isn't to say, I still think CJ hits. I think that's an absolute, hammer play. Yeah. But Brandon Ingram, for me, he's been the floor general for them. He had, 4 the other night, but 13, 10.
No, don't get me wrong. He's been doing great,
Yeah.
but CJ McCollum's still the point guard of the team.
Yeah, he's still, but there's a difference. And once we're agreeing more than we disagree. He's still the point guard, but there's a difference between being the quote unquote point guard and a guy who's actually bringing the floor up time and time and time and time again. Brandon Ingram's the guy. We watched it the other night. Brandon Ingram's, he's been the guy who's been taking up the ball more, and that's the fact. Like, I'm not disagreeing with. I'm just saying, like, yeah. So they both can hit, but at the end of the day, I like Brandon Ingram too. So
yeah, that's fine. I just don't think we have to disregard one player for another. That's
I think that I'm not.
I think that McCollum is still, provides a lot to, from an offensive standpoint to the Pelicans. And,
yeah.
Obviously Brandon Ingram, it's good to see Brandon Ingram finally growing into his role as the star of the team, because that's something that he struggled with consistency for a while, and that's good. That's 100% good to see, right? But I just think that McCollum is still, at the very least, McCollum may not be scoring a crap ton night in and night out, but McCollum's still, he's still able to dish it and get other guys involved, things of that nature. So,
Completely.
Anyway, that's all the time that we have here for another episode of the Right Bet. Again, we want to come at you guys live. Only went live today for about 20 some odd minutes for another episode of the Right Bet, as we get you guys all geared up for NBA plays, and hopefully you guys make some money tonight on the NBA plays that we've given and the college basketball plays for the last Final Four that are available. We'll be back tomorrow night for 7 p.m. Eastern time for another episode of the for State of the Jungle, as we'll be doing a War Room mock draft special, and we can't wait for that, as we'll be going through all our picks and our analysis for 7 full rounds. So appreciate all the love and support we've been getting the last few weeks. I hope that you guys win some money tonight, and we'll see you guys next time on the Right Bet. Thank you.